Hi, it's Mrs. Golding. We are in your packet today. We are in 7-5, page 556, and I'm going to work numbers 10 and 11. So this first problem says, explain how you would solve 16 divided by C is equal to 8. And some people would read that 16 over C, but I want you to remember that vinculum right there is just a division symbol, right? Right there. So, first of all, if you were to just say that out loud, 16 divided by something is 8. How would you think of that in your mind? I bet you could probably come to the fact that C would have to be equal to 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8, right? So just working that out in your head, reading it correctly, that would be one way to explain it. But here's what your book is actually wanting you to do. So they're writing it out algebraically. Okay, so 16 divided by C is equal to 8. And they want you to show that you can isolate the variable. And we isolate the variable, right? In this case, we're going to undo this division right here with multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by C. Okay, and again, we're pretending we don't know what that is. So C and C. Now, when we do that, it's like C over 1, right? And this become a 1. So we're left with 16 all by itself on this side is equal to 8C. So we haven't isolated the variable yet. So we have to undo multiplication with division. And we're going to divide both sides this time by 8. Now we have 8 over 8, which is just 1. So we've isolated the variable, and we know that C is equal to 16 divided by 8, which is 2. That's the process they want to show. But I have a feeling you could probably have thought about that in your head a little differently. Okay, so let's look at this question. This is about monarch butterflies, which I love. By the way, I ordered a chrysalis. Well, I think that's only butterflies. It's the egg part. I don't know what it's called. Maybe you can tell me. For praying mantis. And they're in this thing, it's about yay big. There's supposed to be about 200 of them in there, and they're really good for your garden to eat the bad guys. So it's in my window in the kitchen, and I'm waiting. I just can't wait for it to hatch. So maybe when that happens, I'll show you on one of my videos. I'll bring the jar in here. Ooh, that'd be good. Okay, in this case, it's butterflies, and they migrate up to 3,000 miles to California and Mexico, where it hibernates until early spring. The butterfly travels on average 50 miles per day. Okay, first thing it says, write an equation that represents the distance d, so they're assigning that variable, and that a butterfly will travel in t days. So we have to use a d and a t. And I think these are pretty confusing because d doesn't represent days, it represents distance, and t represents days. I think that was a bad choice, but anyway, we'll go with it. So it's going to look like this: 50 miles, right? See, that's why I got that wrong, because I feel like that doesn't make sense to me. This is 50t, okay, is equal to d. That's the distance. So 50 miles per day is equal to the distance. Okay, that's our equation. Now, we're going to use this table to answer the next part of the question. So in one day, the butterflies would travel 50 miles, 100 miles in 2, 150 in 3, 204, 250 in 5. And how many days would it take them to go 2,500 miles? We multiplied by 10 here, right? We're going to do the same thing here, multiply by 10, and we know that will take them 50 days. Amazing.